accent on achievement.
Good evening. Our first presentation tonight for Accents on Achievement is in recognition of National School Bus Safety Week. If our Transportation Union President, Mr. Lyle Mosman, and our Director of Transportation, Mr. Andy Martin, could please join board members and Superintendent Torres.
Okay, good evening. In recognition of National School Bus Safety Week, I'd like to read this proclamation of appreciation. Whereas the U-46 Transportation Department serves nearly 27,000 students daily, transporting children to 57 different sites each day, U-46 drivers make nearly 1,500 bus stops and drive more than 22,000 miles each day. Whereas the contributions of these talented and dedicated drivers, assistants, mechanics, and office staff are recognized in honor of National School Bus Safety Week, October 21st through the 25th, 2013. And whereas the U-46 transportation staff not only lends their special skills and talents to the efficient operation of the school system, they also have played a significant role in the district's quest for continuous improvement. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education recognizes its talented staff prior to National School Bus Safety Week, October 21 through 25, 2013, and asks administrators, teachers, students, parents, and the community to join in recognizing and thanking these individuals for their dedication, efforts, and service on behalf of children and youth. Presented this 21st day of October 2013, signed Donna Smith, President, Board of Education, and Jose M. Torres, Superintendent, School District U-46. Thank you very much for the work that you do transporting our children safely, given all of the kids, 27,000 students, 22,000 miles every day. That it's incredible, the job that you guys do, and we're very thankful and very grateful that you all do it so well and safely. Thank you. We have bus drivers here.
We have a couple more bus drivers.
Please stand and be acknowledged. Thank you very much.
Our next accent on achievement is to recognize a talented young woman who plans to become a teacher. Destiny Alicia currently serves on the Illinois State Board of Education Student Advisory Commission along with 17 other high school students from across the state to provide student input regarding Illinois' education policy. Destiny is a student at Elgin High School, volunteers at her church, and is involved in Elgin High School's mentor program, Link Crew. She has demonstrated a dedication to the field of education since her freshman year at Elgin High School when she began taking early childhood education courses. Currently, she is participating in an education internship where she spends 2 hours per day assisting Mr. Lucas Kelly, a 6th grade teacher at Huff Elementary. Destiny, if you please join us, and Principal Cope, please join us as well.
Shake your hand. Okay, this is a certificate of achievement. The Board of Education School District U-46 hereby recognizes Destiny Alicia of Elgin High School for your achievement on being named to the Illinois State Board of Education Student Advisory Council presented the 21st day of October 2013. Congratulations. Yes, let's say, stand up please. We're looking forward to you coming back and teaching you things. Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the district improvement plan. our district improvement plan report this evening, we have Dr. Suzanne Colom, Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, Ms. Laura Hill, Director of Assessment and Accountability, and Mr. Pat Maggi, Director of School and Community Relations. We're going to present to the board the education results for ISAT and PSAE for 2013, along with 12th grade students meeting target for college readiness standards. And what Pat's going to be presenting is the employee engagement results.
Good evening. This year, the state of Illinois made significant changes to the Illinois Standards Achievement Test, ISAT, for students in grades 3 through 8. In January, the state board increased the cut scores. What that means is that a higher student score is required to meet or exceed standards. It does not mean that a student is less knowledgeable or is less capable than a student was in previous years. Instead, the state board raised the bar on how well students are prepared to meet college and career readiness benchmarks. Secondly, the 2013 test included 20% of items that are aligned to the new Common Core standards. These standards are higher, fewer, and deeper than the Illinois Learning Standards in providing greater information and preparing students to be college and career ready. As we continue to view our data, it is important to keep in mind these two significant changes. In U-46, our assessment system allows us to look at multiple measures to drive our decision-making and work. Our multiple measures include MAP, ISAT, EPAS, and Prairie State. This slide shows different benchmarks in U-46. The definition for academically at risk is the lowest 20th percentile on an average of several measure of academic progress assessments, or MAP. Our next benchmark is grade level, which is defined as the 40th to 60th percentile on any assessment. High School Ready is a U-46 benchmark of the 50th percentile on MAP. Prairie State and now the new ISAT cut scores are around the 55th percentile. College and Career Ready is a U-46 benchmark of the 65th percentile. Each of these benchmarks is at different percentiles, which equates to different contextual meanings. This graph depicts our ISAT performance in reading for 2008 to 2012 for grades 3 through 8, as represented by the old ISAT test and cut scores. This graph displays our overall percentage of students meeting and exceeding on ISAT for all students. Percentages for each of the grades in reading vary from grade 3, just about 70%, grades 4, 5, and 7, greater than 70% meeting and exceeding, and grades 6 and 8, greater than 80% of students meeting standards. Of special note is in the past in Illinois, at different grade levels, there were different percentiles or cut scores needed to meet or exceed standards. For instance, in grade 8, to meet or exceed standards, students needed to be at the 30th percentile. Now Illinois has changed so that all grades are required to be at the higher standard or cut score to meet or exceed. The cut scores are each set around the 55th percentile. This chart represents our ISAT performance in math from 2008 to 2012 based on the old ISAT and cut scores. Grades 3 through 8 in math range from 84 to 86% of students meeting or exceeding standards. Now changing over to this chart represents our ISAT and Prairie State performance in reading for 2013. Which is based on the new ISAT cut scores and test. From this graph, the alignment of the ISAT and Prairie State is apparent. Beginning in 2013, students who are testing using the ISAT and Prairie State have very similar passing rates. Remember that this data represents all students who were tested, including English language learners and special education. One positive note is our 6th grade performance of 56% of the students meeting and exceeding standards in reading. This chart represents our ISAT and Prairie State performance in math for 2013. This graph also displays the better alignment of the ISAT and Prairie State cut scores. One positive note is fifth grade performance of 64% of the students meeting and exceeding standards in math. Even with the new standards and cut scores, U-46 students perform consistently better in mathematics. Now shifting over to our high school population, this graph displays our historical performance on Prairie State of our 11th grade students. Our reading data has increased from 45% of students meeting and exceeding standards in 2008 to 50% in 2013. Breaking down our Prairie State reading data into subgroups, U-46 Asian, African American, Hispanic, and white subgroups are at their highest percentage of meeting and exceeding standards in reading on the Prairie State in 2013. The gap between our Hispanic and African American subgroups is decreasing. Group size is also an important factor. African American subgroup is around 200 students, the Hispanic subgroup is about 1,200 students, and the white subgroup is 1,100 students. U-46 Prairie State math performance has also increased from 46 to 51% of students meeting or exceeding standards. In 11th grade, the increase in performance is consistent for both reading and mathematics. Our Prairie State math subgroup data also displays that each subgroup continues to increase significantly in performance from 2008. In math, U-46 has a larger gap in performance between our African American and Hispanic students. In U-46, the benchmark score for Prairie State is a 20 on the ACT. This graph displays the mean score for each subgroup, noting that each group is increasing in performance. Hispanic subgroup in 2008 was at a mean score of 16.2 in reading, and in 2013 is at a 17.1. The African American subgroup started at a 15.4 in 2008 and increased to a 17.2 in 2013. In fact, the African American subgroup surpassed the Hispanic subgroup in reading mean score this year. Both the Hispanic and African American subgroups are under a 3 scale point difference from the college and career readiness benchmark of a 20 on the ACT reading. For Prairie State math, each of our subgroups increased from 2008 to 2013. Our Hispanic subgroup, which has over 1,200 students, is closing the excellence gap and is now 1.6 points from the college and career readiness benchmark of 20 on the Prairie State ACT math test. The African American subgroup is also decreasing their excellence gap to 2.5 points in 2013. U-46 students perform higher in the math portion of the ACT than the reading, with the white and Asian subgroups far exceeding the U-46 benchmark average of a 20.
And now we transition to the Destination 2015 goals. So the first slide, as we take a look, illustrates the K-12 student attendance historical data from 2008 to 2013, identifying that attendance has maintained a 94.3% rate for the past several years. Keep in mind, this is one of our measures for Destination 2015 with a target of 98%. The next slide indicates what the K-12 student attendance rate is by subgroup for U-46 students. All students average 94.3% for attendance. Our Asian students average 96.2%. Our African American students average 93.9%, while our Hispanic or Latino students are 95.5% attendance rate, and our white students average 95.6%. The next slide illustrates the achievement gap based on our poverty status. As you take a look at the rate in 2008, it was a 4.2 achievement gap rate as compared to a 4.3